Namaste. Welcome to yet another episode of Business Dialogues by Thought Habitat Speaks. You know, in the current times, social media is the hot topic. Thanks to Twitter and Mr. Jack Dorsey, who's creating a lot of news in every geography possible. Twitter got banned in Nigeria and it is on the verge of getting banned in India and so much happening elsewhere. But given the scenario, what is more important? Positivity and trust, and a sense of good information being circulated through social media platforms. We all are social animals and we all want to get in touch with like minded individuals and engage with them. And we would like to come across different individuals, and we are more keen on creating a transformation in the society, therefore ensuring a safe, positive place to dwell upon. But unlikely, the leading social media platforms today are not focused on all these. But I just said the leading, but not the smaller factions. We have one social media platform that is emerging. It is a first of its kind in the globe. So that is Checkmark. Checkmark is transforming the way people interact digitally, and it is establishing a new era of social engagement focused on ethical technology, privacy, positivity, and doing good through its exquisite features. It is leading a movement to create a new era of social engagement and is revolutionizing the social space. So, how does Checkmark do all this? It does by focusing on positivity and trust as a foundation for communication and being unapologetic about content moderation to prevent negativity and bullying. Through our blogs, we have mentioned a lot. Through, if you could look at Thought Habitat blog, we had a legal advisor who spoke about cyberbullying against women in social media platforms. And we also came across one particular topic where women belonging to a specific community in India are subject to a lot of bullying online. But with Checkmark, all those bullying would come to an end. It is changing the world for the better by improving the society through the goodness of people and focusing on positive interactions. It is encouraging real people to have real connections. Yeah, that is most important in the current times. We have a lot of accounts. We see billions of accounts in Facebook, but how many of those accounts are real is something that we don't know. Therefore, we have Checkmark, and to give a gist about the ethos of Checkmark and how Checkmark is willing to go ahead and how it is planning to make this digital transformation in the society, we have Ms. Brinda Johnson, who's the co-founder. Brinda, welcome to the show. It is, in fact, given the scenario across the world, so much of misinformation is being spread through social media platforms. In that, you people have come around and said that we are providing you a platform which offers positivity, which offers hope. That's really quite reaffirming that the future is brighter than we think.
Yes, thank you for having me, Arvind. And you are absolutely right. Everything that you just described about the need and what we need to see, that's why we built Checkmark. So I'm am here to tell you about it, answer your questions, but I'll just say that we are very excited about being able to offer a platform that solves for all the different issues that we see in different ways. You know, the content moderation that you mentioned, I think it starts there. It's the way we've built it is it's point of sale content moderation. So it doesn't even make it onto our site. It's not a perfect science, as you know, it's AI based, so it's not a perfect science, but we do our best to try and avoid that negativity, any sort of derogatory comments or bullying type comments or racism, which we've started to see a lot as well. We are very conscious of it, and we want to create that positive interaction so we can get back to being just human. You know, let's be human and let's help each other, and let's just, you know, create an environment where there's a safe connection between us.
That's really wonderful to know, Vrinda. So, Vrinda, I have a few questions for you,
Sure.
right? So, first of all, even though Twitter and Facebook, they hold the monopoly today, and of course, if you ask anyone across the globe, by default, they have a Facebook account, and next comes Twitter. You know, in such a scenario, how do you say that your platform is different? How convincing would you say your platform is compared to these two that everyone must download it now and start using?
Yeah. So I'll answer that in a couple of ways. One is that we're not trying to convince anybody. You know, what we're really focused on is that we've built a platform that we think, based on, you know, feedback. So we just didn't build it the way we felt about it. We've actually been listening to beta members, to the community, to our current members, to a very wide range of audiences to gather, okay, what do you want to see in a social platform? And we built it based on that, based on what we see is wrong with social platforms today, and created an environment where you don't have noise. There are no ads. We don't sell your data. There is moderation. You can verify your identity. Everything, whether it's a one-on-one communication or any sort of conversation, it's all private between the people that are engaged. We built it because we saw the need. We heard the community saying we have a need, and we're offering it. I don't think our goal is, okay, we have to take over the market and convert everybody, and, you know, because then it becomes a numbers game. Our focus is giving good quality interactions to folks that will come because they see the positivity of the site. Okay, that's where the focus is.
Wow, that's really good. You know, for really for building an enterprise of that sort, you're telling that we are not focused on the masses. We are focused on quality interactions. That's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't want any fake accounts. We don't want the numbers. We want real people, real interactions that want to help.
that's really quite affirming. So, Vrinda, now you're pledging to stop trolling, cyberbullying, and misinformation. You know, as on date, that is the biggest problem that we all face. You know, at least as far as India is concerned, we come across a lot of misinformation happening, right? So when you have a large social media platform, sometimes isn't it possible that you don't have control over the standalone updates made by one user? And how do you ensure your algorithm identifies that and that is thwarted at the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So I'll start by saying that when you think about Checkmark, you can't think of Checkmark as a social media platform, right? If you break down what a social media platform is, it's the opportunity to share information. It's not the interaction that Checkmark brings, right? So when you're looking at social media, you're making a post, you're sharing links, you're sharing information. There's no moderation to it. There's no like real checks and balances to it. On Checkmark, there are two ways in which you'll interact. One is going to be one-on-one. So I post something I want help with. You might find it and respond to me. We agree to connect. When we connect, we reveal our identity to each other only for that interaction. And that conversation is between you and me. Okay. So there's no public posting other than just that initial question. So that's one gate that we have. The second is even within community interactions, which is a new feature we're launching within the next week. Even there, you have moderation that's also built in. Conversations in a community are not public. You can just see them, you know, within the context of the community connecting. And that privacy aspect for the engagement also is another check and balance when you think about it. I think the content moderation itself is more around language and profanity and, you know, sexism and racism and bullying. And again, you're absolutely right, it's not perfect. So what we're really relying on, aside from the AI, which we've actually seen work, is the community itself. You can kick people out, you can report them, flag them, and then it comes to us. If we see that someone's reported for some sort of behavior that we don't stand for, and the behavior that we don't stand for is very clearly outlined in our guidelines, which you agree to in order to be on the platform, then we'll without hesitation say that we're not telling you, we're not limiting freedom of speech, we're not telling you what you can and can't do, just not on Checkmark. That's it. And then I think the last piece of it, when you think about trying to avoid the trolling, we've introduced identity verification. And identity verification, it's right now it's still an optional feature, but it's based on, it's again working with a third-party vendor and a partner, and that partner caters to the financial services industry for the most part. Okay, identity verification is available on other platforms for celebrities. It's not available for day-to-day folks. We've introduced it for anyone that wants to verify identity, so that when you verify identity and you connect one-on-one, I know that you're Arvind and I'm Vrinda, you know, that because we verified ourselves, the community knows when you're in that community. So we've put all of these different ways together, and we're not saying, again, no algorithm anywhere is perfect, and it would be, you know, an error to assume so, but we're doing as much as we can to limit it.
That's quite a comprehensible answer. In fact, you know, that's really good. That when we come across what's happening in other social media platforms today, you do have a perfect plan that everything is in place, that nobody gets any irritation or nobody gets any misinformation. That's really wonderful. Yeah. And thirdly, the most important aspect, which I consider to be, is the model of ensuring real accounts and quality conversations. So, how do you ensure real people have real accounts? You know, now if I have an email ID, I can very well go out. If I have 10 email IDs, I can very well go out to Checkmark and I can like open left, right, center, one Checkmark account for each email IDs, right? So, in that case, how do you ensure that a real person would have only one ID and that particular thing?
That's again a great question, and I think, you know, I'll answer it the same way, is that the way that we've built the sign-up process, it's not just Twitter, you know, it's not like a email password, you're done. We do have a verification step in order to make sure that at least the email that you're using is a valid email. Let's start there. The second is that we are highly encouraging the identity verification, because what that does is it associates your account with a real person. You're verified and it's really you. Can you create 5 accounts with 5 email addresses? Sure, but you know what's going to happen within a week or two or a certain amount of time is we're going to realize that 4 out of the 5 are not engaging on anything. And you might be using one to engage one way and another to engage another way. We've actually built a security setup in such a way that we can identify if someone is abusing the system, okay? And if there is like this bot concept where it's just the bot coming in, posting stuff or creating accounts. So our security is slightly more sophisticated than what you would expect of a startup to help us put in those checks and balances. I will never take the stance that it is perfect, because when it comes to technology, it's not, right? But we are doing everything that we possibly can to help avoid all of that, to help mitigate and reduce the frequency with which multiple accounts, fake accounts, bot accounts, bad posts, misinformation make it onto Checkmark.
That's really great. You did tell me that I cannot create different fake accounts. I'll come back and find you. Yeah. Uh, and Vrinda, the other most topical issue happening across the globe, in fact, you know, now Russia had given a warning to Twitter saying that if you are to have a social media platform in Russia, you're supposed to have a server in Russia, and all the information which is specific to Russians should be stored only in that server. And so it is happening with India also. Now the government has come up with new IT rules, and they are saying that okay, you have the liberty to save the information in the Indian server as well as the US server. But again, everything has to be made public, that we will be, and I mean, we will be sure that the information of our citizens are not misused. And
Yeah.
again, we have GDPR policy in Europe. So, with all this, how do you ensure that you people comply with all these guidelines, which is getting more specific to each and every government with 190, 200 countries across
Yeah.
the globe?
So couple of ways. So one is that we are GDPR compliant, and that was from the onset. Because we did a lot of research around, you know, what is the most, not just strict, but also all encompassing when it comes to country by country, region by region policies. We're also within the US CCPA compliant, which is the California Protection Act. And the reason is because that also has some very strict guidelines that actually apply globally. Okay, so that's the starting point. The second thing is that data becomes an issue when you sell it and when you use it. We don't sell data. We don't have ads. We don't have, and we won't sell members' data. Okay. So with that, it's easier for us, not easier, but we have a case to say that we're not misusing data, because all we're doing is that you have data that you've shared with us, one, to create your account, and two, to verify your identity. And you decide what is visible to the community and not. So you can make your profile completely public, or you can make it completely private, and it'll stay that way. The beauty of not having ads is that, one, there's no noise, but also there's a certain inherent privacy and security that's built into it. Now, with the increasing regulations, as Checkmark grows in different regions, we will absolutely start to make sure that we are complying with all of the different regional rules, right? Because that's important to us, is that we don't want to limit or take away access from certain regions because of the security issues. So what we have been doing is making sure that we have a security team, an IT team, and a legal team that is all prepared to show that this is how we protect data and privacy.
That's really quite a good plan. In fact, you know, now that we can be sure that our data is not sold to anyone, so
Yeah.
when we are online, we feel safe.
Yeah.
That's pretty important, you know. I'm sure, like, very sooner or later, everybody would start using Checkmark.
Yeah.
And Brinda, one last question. So now that you've come up with the agenda of eliminating misinformation in the public domain, you've come up with the agenda of stopping cyberbullying, and so many agendas like building positivity among the societal folks, and everything. So, with all those, what are the future benchmarks for Checkmark? So, years down the line, how do we see Checkmark? Will it be somewhere taking over the the leading platforms, and will Checkmark become the most used social media platform? So, what is the vision that you have for Checkmark?
The vision is very simple. The vision is that whether it's 100 people or 100 million or a billion people, Checkmark is available to anybody that wants an alternative, that wants a different way to engage online, where there is fundamental, like just getting back to being human, positive, supportive, securely and safely. We haven't sought out, like I said this at the beginning of the call, is that we haven't sought out to take over. Our goal is not numbers. Our goal is growth with quality, growth with people that actually want this solution and will use and benefit and actually, continue to drive the solution forward. And for me, success looks like with every connection that Checkmark makes, it makes us incrementally successful. It doesn't make us successful if we have lots and lots of accounts with no activity or lots of posts but no interactions. That doesn't make sense to us. Success is driven by members connecting and actually accomplishing things together and continuing to share that knowledge among their networks now. So it's like the pay it forward concept, right? It's like you get guidance, you give guidance, and that just keeps on going. I'm hoping that this will resonate with more people around the world, irrespective of, aside from being 18 and over, right now, that's the only restriction we have. It'll resonate with folks around the world, irrespective of language, irrespective of country, irrespective of profession, personal, professional, it doesn't matter, right? You can get on Checkmark and talk about career, you can talk about personal, you can talk about family, you can talk about sports and fitness, and the topics are really endless, and that's on purpose. So we just want to continue to grow. We want to see the positivity spread, and we want people to know that there is an alternative.
That's really, Vrinda, a very lucrative benchmark you've set, a lucrative vision that you've set. So we would really love to see Checkmark growing beyond what it is now. And definitely everyone in the world currently needs Checkmark because there is a lot of misinformation, there is a lot of negativity in the society. We all want to overcome all those. We all really need solace from what is happening right now. So
Yeah,
definitely Checkmark is going to be the platform, I'm sure. And all the best for all your future endeavors. And we would like to feature you more on more such topics in the future.
absolutely. And thank you for the time. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for getting to know Checkmark. And I hope to see you and, so many more people on there just engaging in a good way. So I am happy and here to answer any questions at all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.